Rich, look, I'm finding it extremely difficult this evening. And I hope you're not offended by what I'm about to say. Part of me feels and wishes it was Billy sitting in that seat right now and not yourself. Because you're probably one of the nicest blokes on YouTube. But your team is one of the worst teams I've ever seen in my life. I knew a team in carrot and blue was going down. I had it as West Ham, but bloody hell, you are worse than West Ham, mate. You are crap. And all this stuff about Ollie Watkins. You see, what happened was, and I think, Rich, you tried not to go there, but you went there. Villa fans got ahead of themselves last year, didn't you? Last year was your greatest year in history. You had a Champions League run, shaking your bum. You did all right in the league. We know that Unai Emery cannot multitask. His job is to bring you a European title. He can't survive in the league. To be in the Prem and you've not scored a goal, you are 19th and you're talking about you could get Europe. Bruv, you'd be lucky to get 15th, bruv, at this rate. You don't win on the weekend, we are genuinely talking about a relegation fight for Villa because this is Game of Thrones. You know, the Targaryens are all here fighting for the throne, and you guys don't know where your dragons are, bruv. This is what it is. You don't know where your dragons are, bro. So for me, Villa, Rich, you're a lovely bloke. I think Billy's let you down, to be honest, pumping his chest, shaking his bum. I don't know why. And you know, there was a lot of things that didn't make sense. Why did you get rid of Leon Bailey? Why did you get rid of you kind of poo-pooed Ramsey's a baller, man. You know, you don't have the Asensio, you don't have Rashford. Do you know what I'm saying? And then you're bringing in Lindelof. What the hell are you doing? Harvey Elliott is not even getting a sniff. What's going on? You brought in Harvey Elliott and you're not even starting him. So it's a hot mess. Unai doesn't know what he's got. And that's why Martinez wanted to leave. Do you know, right now, you guys are truly Marco Bizot. That's really what it is. Marco Bizot. Rubbish. That's what it is. Rubbish. So, yeah, no, Rich, I feel for you, mate. Look, I hope that you guys...
No, it's going to be me. It's going to be me in your seat, Deji. This season, it's going to be me going crazy, crashing out every week. You can relax this season.
Yeah, I've got your email, so I'm going to send you a list of... instrumental beats that you can use on YouTube and not get flagged for demonetization. And also, in terms of some lyrics, I've got some lyrics for you. One of them being Stan, Stan the letter. Because I think you're going to need to get rid of this, brother. That's the truth, bro. I can't see you surviving this season. This is rubbish. And that's the problem with Unai, isn't it? If he doesn't do it, then he falls off a cliff. And I think he's already fallen off.
Spurs, though. Spurs going to finish easily above Villa then. Yeah, Dej?
See, Dan, I'm not going to lie. I was in a good mood until you asked that question. I was in a really good mood. For me, call me classist, and it's an issue for me, and I need work, okay? When I'm dealing with minnows, I can't, I can't conversate with them. Last season, the reason why I was engaged in the conversation is because quite literally I was looking up. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why I spoke to everyone. But now that I'm back where I'm supposed to be, bruv, there's a certain chest, there's a certain level. Don't talk to me about Villa. You should be talking to me about Chelsea. Yeah? Will Spurs finish above Chelsea? That's the question.
Okay, let me ask it differently then, Deji. How many teams are finishing above? Who are the teams that are going to finish above Tottenham? That's a better way of putting it.
At the moment, there's only 2 teams.
What? Who are those 2? Liverpool and Arsenal?
Let me be real. If LB is correct and he's expecting Arsenal to beat City, then they're done out here. Do you know what I mean? They're done. I don't have to worry about them. I'm looking at you and Liverpool.
Hold on, what about just come back to?
Tottenham are finishing 3rd, bro.
In the league?
Yeah, the league, yeah. In the league.
The Premier League.
The Premier League.
And I assume I know who's spitting that bullshit. Hold on, Deji. Wait. I thought you were winning the league.
No, I'm not saying that.
So you've downgraded three positions. You're downgrading a position a week. Come week 20, you're going to predict bottom. What's going on here?
Can I be real? Don't try and back me into a corner that I've not asked for. All I'm saying is, based on current form, there's only two teams that I'm seeing better than my club, and that's Liverpool and Arsenal at the moment. I can say that. Say that.
Do you ever learn?
Bro, I'm just saying things could obviously change.
No, serious question. Do you ever learn?
Who had the? Could you rate the transfer windows of each club?
Forget the transfer windows. Answer the question. Do you ever learn?
LB said something just a minute ago.
Forget what LB said. What you said.
Tell a club's season based on the business they did in the transfer window. Tottenham did good business, bro.
Yeah, and you got rejected left, right, and centre. You were no offense, Pete. You were the Newcastle of the South. Let's be real here, okay?
I'll be real with you.
I said no offense, Pete. I said no. That was Kundi that said it, by the way. I was just paraphrasing.
Even the people in the chat.
Sorry, Pete. I apologize.
Pete catching strays.
People in the chat see Spurs finishing at least 5th. That's Champions League football.
But Deji, do you ever learn?
Why stop there? Why stop there? For me, I think Chelsea is there for the taking. And then, at the moment, I would love to say that I've got a really keen eye. I've got my goggles. I am watching Liverpool very, very closely. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had slot on fraud a lot. Errol knows that. But so far, so good. And I'm not 100%
13 months deep. How's that going for you?
But, don't worry. Don't worry. Do you know what I'm saying? What was going all right, bro? I'm third.
Deji, how do you think the squad will cope with the Champions League coming in now? Running on both.
Yeah, no, they're winning that as well, Rich.
I think, of course, yeah.
Rich, first and foremost, thank you for bringing it back to football and not just in terms of how we balance the squad, we're doing it already, bro. Against Burnley, we were able to play our kids in Archie Gray and Bergvall, and we got the win, clapped them up 3-0. Something Errol was struggling with his full team, by the way. But anyway, I digress. And then also in relation to the game on the weekend, we were able to, again, mix it up. Rest the players that needed to rest. Richarlison didn't even need to really come on. He did a little mini cameo. And we made light work of West Ham. So we're doing rotation in the location, and it's working a treat. And we currently see ourselves joint second with Arsenal. And we've rested players where they... Would you say Arsenal rested players on the weekend?
The problem is, Dej, the problem is you run the same track every single season. This time last year, you were talking about doing the treble. Pete, you'll back me up. It was on your channel. He was sitting there talking about Spurs.
No, I said,
did he or did he not?
Win a treble to keep his job. I thought he would need to win a treble to keep his job.
No, you said you were going to win a treble, and then when he started looking at Qantas airline
wasting your time with the Carabao.
Yes.
We did, because we won the Europa League.
It wasn't a treble. It wasn't a treble. The year before, when Spurs were top after I'm loving Big Ange instead and everything, you were claiming you're winning the league and stuff after August. You don't learn from your mistakes. You're doing the same mistakes. You're repeating history, man, over and over again. I'm warning you as your friend, Deji, to shut up.
I'm just saying to you, as it stands at the moment, so far, so good. But why stop at 5th?
Where do you think they'll finish, Errol? Spurs?
I don't know. I think they're on for Champions League footy. Like, as I say, they've probably been one of the more convincing sides. But again, as to Wolfie's point there, 2 seasons ago, they hadn't lost till, what was it, back end of October, nearly
10 games.
November, 10 games. They had a really strong start to the season. So we've all seen it before with Spurs. They can start strong and then the wheels can just completely fall off. I'd say at the moment on current form, I'd say they should probably be looking to get Champions League football. And I think that's fair. I think that should be the expectation. I think more so than winning a league or a cup for them this season, making sure that they make an improvement on the actual league is pivotal for them.
Would you say that's an improvement on last season from your perspective and outside looking?
No.
I'd say, well, again, it all depends. If you go on a decent Champions League run and get yourselves to a quarters or a semis and you finished 4th or 5th, then you'd look at it and say, yeah, you've stabilised and you're moving in the right direction as a club. fair play, give credit where credit's due. I don't expect Spurs to become a team overnight, over one summer, to go and become serial winners. I just don't think that's the makeup of this team. So the next best progression would be to improve the league position and to do well in a cup competition. I don't think that's
Spurs have got to, if we're being real, to get better than last season, Spurs have got to win a trophy and get into the Champions League.
Correct.
That's what Spurs have got to do. Let's be real. Because I said to you, do you want a house?
We know that's not going to happen, no, Potts. We know that's not going to happen. So why are we even doing that? They're not a team that are going to go out there and become serial winners.
Well, Deji might think it will.
And Deji can think that all he wants, yo, bro. Just know Spurs have not got that in their locker. But history tells us that as well.
Deji, would you say 5th is a successful season?
Look, I think 5th in Thomas Frank's first season at Spurs would be a good season, yes.
Really?
For me personally, would I be shaking my bum for 5th and a Carabao Cup? I don't know.
Are you not a man who once told us that there's only two trophies that are worthwhile?
Exactly. So you know me, but I also know your low standards. So yeah. So for me, I'm trying
we're talking about my standards. I agree with you, bro. I've got 2 of them right there. So I hear you. Where are yours?
Look, I genuinely think Spurs under Thomas Frank, he's implemented common sense football. Common sense is prevailing. Look, people are not talking about the fact that we've played 4 games and conceded 1 goal. Look, that is the same back 4 that conceded crazy amount of goals last season. It's the same. No one's changed. Same back 5. And now look, the other thing that I think is scary for you, Wolfie, that you don't want to talk about, with the common sense prevailing, and we're not doing high line for life, which you're going to be implementing moving forward.
The deflection,
it means that injury-wise, if we can keep Romero, Van der Ven fitter for longer, at present, I think Van der Ven tends to croak around about the 10th, get league game of the season, the same for Romero. If we can get these brothers to 15, 16, 17 games without an injury, then Errol is right. You're looking at Spurs almost pretty much guaranteeing Champions League football. And then for me, the game is on, because for me, I'm looking at a Chelsea team that doesn't really have a gunman up top. We know Sanchez has started the season well, but we know that Sanchez has a bozo moment in him and could go through a run of games full of bozo blunders. And then all of a sudden, all those people that were shaking their bum for Chelsea ain't going to shake it so widely. So for me, Chelsea is there for the taking. Newcastle, Valdemeda scored on the weekend. They should be up there. It all depends. It all depends how that. You know what I'm saying? So why?
That's the last question. That's the last question.
Say it again. Say it again. What you just said. Say it again.
Yeah, Valdemeda scored on the weekend. I still think when he runs in slow motion. But you know,
don't try and do that. Don't try and do that. You're all giggly. You and Wolfie last week taking the mick, right? I just stayed silent. Let it carry on.
I've seen Andre Salenzi score a goal, bro. And now, scoring a goal don't make you a player.